Inside we'll see some posters from like the Victorian era when these magicians would perform at the theatres, and it's how they promoted and advertised their shows. And I'll read some of the passages. So please sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the video. This book features 230 posters from the golden age of magic, an era when the Hermans, Keller, Thurston, and of course Houdini were among the most popular entertainers in the world. Their vivid colours and phantasmagoric images were designed to ignite the imagination and draw passers-by the show. Many of the posters illustrated in this volume are extremely rare. They come from the Allen Slate collection, an exceptional assemblage of posters and Houdini-related documents that is now part of the McCall Museum collection in Montreal. In addition, the essays in this publication offer some novel perspectives on the world of magic and the production processes behind these posters that are now considered veritable works of art. Illusions, the Art of Magic complements the 2017 exhibition of the same name presented at the McCall Museum in Montreal. Illusions, the Art of Magic. I remember it like it was yesterday. That counter at the Eaton's department store in Toronto. It was December 1939 and I was 8 years old. My parents had taken my brother and me on a day trip for our hometown of Galt, Ontario, to the big city. It was there, in the department store, where I came face to face with a real wizard. His name was Johnny Giordmain, and he was the magician who demonstrated and sold magic tricks behind the counter. I was enthralled, smitten really. My parents had to dynamite me from the spot. The dynamite, a box of Giordmain's magic tricks. So started my lifelong love affair with magic. As far as magic history is concerned, I was born in a perfect storm, with the demise of vaudeville at the hands of motion pictures. I was young enough to experience the tail end of the golden age of magic. The roughly 50-year span between the 1980s and 1930s, when large-scale illusionists, first Herman, Keller, and Thurston, and later Blackstone, Carter and Dante, were feature attractions. I saw both Blackstone and Dante in the 1940s when they performed at the Royal Alexandra Theatre in Toronto. Those were grand shows and they were great performers. I was also there for the birth of a new era, the one where magicians and mentalists performed on the airwaves. It was, for example, the dawn of Ed Sullivan's show, the precursor to all the talent shows that have dominated the small screen for decades. As an enthusiast, I took up the mantle of magic myself and toured Western Canada whilst a teenager, our family having moved from Gaul to Moose Jaw, sometimes as the mind reader Will Powers, other times as Slate & Co. I present small-scale illusions, but sold them as great feats from and for all ages. Fortunately for all concerned, my vocation became an avocation when I became entranced by a different medium, radio. Although I put my magic career on the back burner, my love for magic, particularly the creativity and magicians display in inventing, presenting and selling their magic, has never left me. Now, in my 8th decade, my passion for magic is just as intense as the day I was fooled by Giordmain's at Eaton's. It is with great pleasure that I now now see this collection of magic posters and Houdiniana that bears my name in the possession of the McCord Museum, well protected for the future and accessible to the largest possible audience. Written by Alan Slade. Forward. Who could have known that the McCord Museum's collection would one day include a major collection of magnificent posters from the golden age of magic and archival items documenting the career of Harry Houdini, the most famous magician of all time. Not even Houdini himself could have foreseen this, despite his genius and despite the many times he performed in Montreal. In fact, just a week before his death, he delivered his final lecture at the McGill Student Union, in the very same building that currently houses the McCord Museum. Such is the serendipitous nature of life. This unique collection contains over 600 posters, remarkable for their variety and rarity, as well as over 1,000 Houdini-related documents, with every piece in nearly mint condition. It was therefore only natural to think of introducing the marvels of this magnificent, never-before-seen collection to a wider public, an idea which led to the exhibition Illusions, the Art of Magic, and this publication. With contributions from prestigious art historians, curators and magic experts, this book presents some novel perspectives on and interpretations of the golden age of magic, its key features and the production processes behind these posters. However, it is important to begin by understanding the provenance of the Alan Slade collection. In his essay, The River, David Penn recounts the history of the collection, describing the passionate, disconcerting collectors who spent years acquiring these valuable treasures. In Magic in Montreal, Christian Vagon explores the connections between stage magic and Montreal, which was not only the economic capital of Canada during the 19th century, but also a city of culture and entertainment. Thanks to its many theatres and loyal, enthusiastic audiences, Montreal became a popular stop on the international tours of stars of the golden age of magic. The forerunner of these modern magicians was Jean-Eugène Robert Houdin. In his essay, The Mainspring of Modern Magic, Zev Goreria describes the period preceding the golden age of magic which gave birth to the modern style of conjuring. It was the era when illusionists began appropriating advances in science and mechanics to reinvent their art and make it more meaningful. The fascinating automata of Robert Houdin and the levitating acts he developed are perfect examples of this evolution. The major stars of the golden age of magic also proved to be visionaries. To disseminate and promote their image, they unknowingly created the foundations of what would become the basis of Hollywood's star system. In Fantastical Lives, Katharina Rain reveals that most magicians published autobiographies that cleverly intertwined real facts of pure fiction. Posters and their iconographies played a similarly important role as promoting tools, enabling magicians to differentiate themselves from each other. Devils, imps, various animals and secret books of knowledge were just some of the symbols used to illustrate the esoteric side of magic shows. Kevin Grace, in The Power of Symbols, explains how these elements helped create an air of mystery around magicians and enhance the public's fascination with the word of magic. And what about women in magic? Were they simply assistants? destined to be sawn in half. In her essay, More Than Lovely, assistant Mercy Contagoras suggests that women were assigned this role in the late 19th century, when the increasing emancipation of women compete with the Victorian dictate that they be passive and reserved. Unsettled by this change, magicians sublimated their anxiety by using women as assistants in their most violent numbers. This interesting perspective is tempered by the fact that the era did produce some successful female magicians, the most famous of whom was Adelaide Herman. In the final essay, The Art of Magic Posters, Christian Vachon discusses the design and printing process used to produce these magnificent posters, processes that evolved throughout the golden age of magic. Lithography arrived at a key moment, when a blend of artistic movements exerted various influences, all employed to create striking posters for the sole purpose of attracting public attention, in addition to thanking all of the aforementioned authors. I would like to highlight the excellent work of Christian Vachon, curator, paintings, prints and drawings at the McCord Museum. He researched the Allen Slate collection with passion and dedication, and I thank him very much. I would also like to thank Mark H. Choco, who expertly co-edited this publication and shared his invaluable expertise in poster art. In addition, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to David Penn, master magician, connoisseur of the art and history of magic, who so clearly communicated his passion throughout the project. At the same time, I would like to underscore the priceless contributions of Allen Slate to the world of magic. His lifelong passion for this art is evident in the books he has written and published, as well as the Allen Slate Awards given each year to recognise innovation, talented magicians from all around the world. Finally, I would like to express my immense gratitude to Emmanuelle Gauso for her incredible generosity and constant support throughout the production of the exhibition and this accompanying publication. Her vision and determination were integral to the success completion of the project. I thank her with all of my heart for her friendship and her commitment to the McCord Museum. That concludes The Art of Magic Part 1. This is just the intro. It's a very big book and it is going to take me time to work through it, and I'd like to in future videos. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I've not actually read the book, so I'm hearing it for the first time as you are, and I'm finding it fascinating. And the subject of magic I hold very dearly to my heart. My mum, who is no longer with us, she was a magician's assistant in the late 60s, early 70s, and I'll drop some pictures of her for you to see. And so whenever I think of magic, it reminds me of my mum. And so I really enjoyed the book. I have changed the position of the microphone, and I think it sounds a lot louder and better, so I'm hoping I can learn as I go. But please let me know down in the comments if this is preferred than my first few videos. If you've seen those, I would really appreciate the feedback on that. And please, subscribe or leaving a like. Comment down below. If you stuck around until the end, thank you. I appreciate it.